How you doing, everybody? It is February 26, 2024. I am the New World Order Survival Guy. Tonight I want to talk about food preps, um, go over some things with you guys. Um, Today's day and age, food is getting expensive and it's being more and more harder to prep. Um, so better late than never. There's still a lot of cheap options out there. Um, you know, you have foods that are like canned foods, gonna be high in all kinds of junk and stuff like that. But it is food. You got to save what you can, and obviously, if you can afford it, um, you want to get the healthier options as you can. So the first thing I want to go over is freeze dried foods. Freeze dried foods would be the ultimate option because it is packed with all the nutrition basically as it was when it was fresh. You freeze dry it, it becomes very light. It takes all the water content out of it. And then when you're ready to eat, open it up, just add water, and you're getting a good calorie dense food source. And it's excellent for bug out as well as bug in preps. For instance, Mountain House, super light, not specifying this brand, but just for an example, they have little pouches like this, or they have the number 10 cans and stuff like that. It is pricey. It is pricey, but they have lots of options. You get like berries and fruits or whatever, or you get meats, or you can get basic meals already combined into it. Like this one's lasagna with meat sauce. I mean, there's tons and tons of different varieties. They are pricey. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but having some of those in your food storage ration is ideal. But I would like to show you some other options. You do have dehydrated foods. You could, such as like dehydrated fruits. I mean, like fruits, and they got beef jerky, and I mean, you can dehydrate all kinds of stuff. It doesn't last as long like the freeze dried, where it lasts 25 plus years. Um, Actually, I would say it would last almost double that if you keep it in a temperature and a temperature control room. Um, Keep away from heat and stuff like that. Um, but dehydrated foods, you're gonna get like between a year and a half. Just depending on what it is. Um, that is a great option, especially nowadays where you don't know where things exactly are going to hit the fan, where you're not going to be able to have food. That's a good deal. Um, Another great option is beans. These are cheap, non-perishable foods. This is a 1 pound bag of pinto beans. This will last a while. It's cheap. Dollar for a pound. Um, Obviously you buy in bulk, you can get a better deal. Like I have right here from a bigger bag. I found some containers. I store it in. Put some bay leaves in there. Keeps the weevils and everything out of that. And just stick them in a bunch of these. I also have, black beans. You get protein. There's other nutrition in these, and it's a good filler. And variety is key. Is one of the keys to food because you don't want to eat the same old porridge every day. You know what I mean? So you want to have a variety of foods that give you that little bit of comfort, of eating all kinds of different stuff that maybe you ate at on a regular civilization day. You got black eyed peas. Folks in the southern states know what I'm talking about these. They eat these with everything, and it tastes pretty good. You want a variety. You want and you also get a variety of nutrients in it too. You got lentils, same thing. Um, Split peas. I mean, you can make soups. You just don't really want to. You're not going to eat this by itself. You're gonna cowboy pot it. You're gonna be sticking a little of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, um, and you know you want to pack in calories is the main thing. The human calorie um, content for your body is roughly 2,200 calories per day. It's going to fluctuate a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on the size of the human. But in a survival situation, you're going to be doing a lot of excess stuff that's going to require you to have more calories. And if you're sitting there chopping wood and building fire and hustling all this stuff, you're going to need double that. You're going to need double 2,200. So you want to get as much nutrient, calorie packed food as you can. So yeah. Another thing that you might want to get is instant potatoes. Instant potatoes is great filler. Makes your little soups or whatever thicker. You can eat as potatoes and add stuff on top of it. I think it's a great prep. Instant potatoes. Another obviously great staple for any prepper is rice. Rice can go a long way and it's cheap. Not as cheap as it was, but it's still cheap. It's still one of your cheapest options that you can get. This is a 5-pound bag. You can get up to 50-pound bags or whatever, or even more. But this can go a long way. And this was probably about $4, something like this, for this 5-pound bag. Rice. Have a thing of rice. You can add whatever in it. I mean, you could SpaghettiOs, dollar. I really don't eat this crap, but it'll give it some flavor. Maybe your kids like it or something like that. But it really adds morale to foods. Uh, Simplicity like rice or pasta or something like that. And that thing about, here we go with pasta, 1 pound bags, $1. $1 for a pound of pasta. That could feed a couple people, and you just add whatever else into it, and it'll make it not that bad, especially when you're starving and you have no food. This is cheap and it lasts a long time. It lasts a long time. Not as long as freeze dry food, but hey, it'll last, 2-3 years. Again, just keep it under temperature controlled and out of moisture and stuff like that, and you're good to go. There's all kinds of pastas. You get elbow noodles, large, big, penne, pasta, whatever. They all, elbow noodles, garden rotini. These are $1 each. $1 each. Ziti, spaghetti, linguine. Just $1. You spend $20 and you have 20 pounds of pasta. That will last you a good while and feed a lot of people. You get other things like this suddenly salad stuff. Ain't bad taste, You might not have the mayonnaise or whatever to put in it, but you can supplement it with stuff. It's cheap. You get stuff on sale. Like where I'm at right now, I live in Western Colorado. Our sales for food come out on Wednesdays. So I look up on a paper or the ads, and I get whatever's real cheap that I can put in my prepper pantry. And, it works. It works. I feel better every time I get a handful of stuff. Just stuff that's on sale that you can keep in the pantry for any extended period of time, is a bonus, and you will thank yourself for that later. Even save this from Thanksgiving. 2 boxes, stovetop. It may not be the most healthiest food, but hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. You can buy the healthier stuff too, but a lot of the healthy stuff it's not really gonna be cheap. So I'm speaking more or less on a budget friendly type of prep stuff. So anyways, let's get to some of this other stuff. Nutrient packed, high calories, peanut butter. Peanut butter will last you at least a year, and you got all kinds of good calories in here. It tastes good. That's a good prep right there, and you can find deals on that all day long. Same with the jams and jelly, if you're into that. Real cheap. Look at $1.25 or something for this. One thing about pasta, beans, and rice, there's other options. There's these Knorrs. You got all kinds of different flavors, and it's already seasoned and everything. They're cheap. These were $1 a piece that I got on sale. You got all kinds of. So and they taste pretty good. You know, they taste pretty good. Um, but for the beans and rice and pasta and stuff, you get something like this chicken bouillon. Got this from Sam's Club. I don't know. It was like $4 or something like that. But it's a lot in here, and this will spread out for a lot of dinners, and it makes your food taste good. I use this almost daily in food I cook. You know, good stuff, good tight container, and this will stretch far. So you want the best tasting food you can get, I guess, on the cheap. Um, Seasoning to me is important because, especially for something like in a survival situation. I mean, you're already feeling down. You're already, you know, strung out on the daily grind of this new um, lifestyle that you accumulated from this corrupt government. So you have to do things and to make your family more comfortable for the situation that you're in. That's why today I'm just getting into food. Um, you know, all these things are pretty much $1. I mean, and I recommend getting the generic stuff because the name brand stuff is just overpriced when you can just get these stupid pasta rings and meatballs. You know, you get canned corn, cream of corn, you get the beans. I mean, all these will last a long time. Tomato sauces, soups. These ones right here, like a $1.50, but has a lot in it, and you know, you can mix it with rice. You can mix it with beans or something like that, and it'll really make it a lot better than just rice. Um, Canned spaghetti sauce. This will go good with the pasta. Like again, these ain't like prime nutritious stuff, but I mean it'll bring calories in you, and when you have no choice, I mean, what choice do you have? Cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, stuff like that. Pork and beans. Pork and beans, reminds me of camping. This will fill you up. A can of this will fill you up. Ain't too bad tasting. Um, Canned chili. Canned chili. I don't mind canned chili. You know, this one has some meat in it, which brings me to talk about canned meat, manwich. I mean, you can mix this with a package of pasta and eat it just like that. Those some canned vegetables in there, whatever you got. I mean, you're just throwing it in a pot, um, and it ain't gonna be so bad. You just want to feed your family, um, cheapest way you can for most of us. You got diced tomatoes, mixed beans, macaronis in a can. I mean, whatever floats your boat. You just got to get your pantry stocked. Then you can always recycle through. Um, I don't normally eat hardly any of this stuff, but I gotta have some kind of prep. stuff, and it's it's hard to be able to buy freeze dried food and stuff like that. So I just try to get a little of everything. Um, Vienna sausages is meat. It lasts a long time. Hawaiian food, spam. I haven't had this since I was a kid. I just thought I'd get a big package of it just to throw in. Again, you could fry it, you can add it to whatever else, make it taste all right. You got canned chicken breast, same thing. It's protein, you know, sardines, not really the tastiest stuff in the world. I really don't care for them, but I have ate a couple cans before and it wasn't too bad. Kind of reminds me of like canned tuna, kind of. You know, canned fruit. I think with the acids and these cans, they're not gonna last more than a year. But you drink the juice out of here. It gives you some vitamins and stuff like that. You gotta do what you gotta do. Um, what else do we got here? We got summer sausage for meat also. This stuff will last a year, no problem. Um, I just had some the other day that I had like 13, 14 months and it was fine. So, I mean, this is a good chunk of meat right here. Once again, you can add it in other foods and stuff. Let's see what else we got. That thing would be like top ramen. It puts food in your belly or petroleum byproduct in your belly or whatever you want to call it, but it's something. It's something. Not the go-to for these, but it's just an idea. If you're starving, you're gonna eat it. Also, these Lipton soup mix packets, they're pretty cheap. They with nuts and any kind of nuts and stuff, good protein, good other nutrients and stuff like that. You get fibers and some of these things, and salt. Like, that's one thing that all these canned stuff has is salts. Your body needs salts. So just an idea. One of the most important thing as far as food putting in your preps, in my opinion, is honey. This stuff will last thousands of years. You can use it medicinally or for food. You can put it on cuts. You can do all kinds of stuff. This is like great. Lasts forever. So I got right here is the organic raw and unfiltered honey. It tastes good. You can substitute it for sugar. It's a great thing to have in your prep, and I would even consider getting a bucket full as well as a lot of these little canisters full. Another idea would be flour. Flour with water. You could make obviously breads and tortillas and stuff like that. That would be a good filler and keep you from being hungry. This also can be a comforting food, a staple to dip into like your soups and stuff like that. Um, so with you know baking soda, baking powder, and yeast. I have a few of these double packets. Um, make the bread rise, and it. I like these. It's not too bad. It'll really make your bread and stuff stretch. You can also do other things with yeast. I mean, you can make beer or whatever. Um, but yeah, another good thing to have is some kind of oil. Obviously, olive oil or something like that would be prime. But any kind of oil, it helps with baking stuff or cooking stuff. Um, you got a piece of meat you want to fry or something, it adds something good to your food. Then you got, well, this is a vinaigrette, but vinegar in itself is a good thing to say because you can preserve foods, you can add it to foods, and there's a lot of uses for vinegar. So keep that in consideration with your prep. Not just vinaigrettes or something like this, but big jugs of vinegar. Um, and also, these are about coconut oil. It's about 11, $12 for this big old canister of coconut oil. If you wanted the healthier option, you could use this instead of like vegetable oil or something like that. But you can also substitute it for butter and everything. Of course, you're gonna have a little coconut taste to it, but or just eating it by the spoonful. I mean, it's good also for um, some medical applications. You can use this for sunscreen. Um, you can do a lot of stuff with this, and it's not that expensive. I mean, this big tub of it lasts quite a while. All right. Um, like I like I like spicy food. I like spicy food a lot, actually. So I would always keep this hot sauce stuff on my prep. That's just me. A lot of you probably don't do hot stuff. This is actually the hot sauce I make, Reaper Smoke. But yeah, I gotta have some of this stuff on hand for myself. And let's see. Another thing is raising animals for food. Chickens, rabbits, stuff that doesn't cost a lot to take care of. And they're pretty much self reliant. Um, chickens obviously produce eggs, and you can eat the chickens, and they can breed and create more. That's something to consider if you have this room for it. Um, Rabbits is a little easier to raise if you don't have a lot of room, or if you don't have property to let chickens run. And now chickens and turkeys and stuff, they're expensive when you gotta feed it food. So you have free range chickens, you have a little piece of property and then you have plenty for them to eat, bugs and stuff like that. That's the best option. But chickens, you give them all your scraps of food, they will eat it. I don't care if it's leftover chicken, they will scarf it down. Um, so they're basically like a garbage disposal of your leftover food, and they will love it. Um, so those are decent options. Obviously most people can't get cattle or things like that. Um, so those are just other things to think about. There's probably more animals that people are willing to eat. You know, depends on your taste and how your family will respond to eating the varieties of different animals that's out there. Um, Salts and minerals. We know our body needs the salt and minerals. Um, so consider that, especially when it comes to like electrolytes. Your body has to have electrolytes. Um, so when you're just drinking water, like I drink this. What I mainly drink all the time is distilled water. About $1 for a gallon of this. But it don't have nothing in it. It's just water. I drink it because it ain't got no fluoride crap in it and stuff like that. So that's what I drink. It's good to save gallons of water. You can like for this one, you can reuse the container. I know microplastics in these, but I mean, you have to do what you got to do. Um, you got packages of these little tiny waters. You get big packages like I said and stuff. Again, microplastics. Well, you die of thirst or unless you have a stream. Um, I'm all for uh, filtration of water. That's my number one go-to. I will do some shows on that and get really into depth on filtration of water, um store-bought filtration, and primitive filtration techniques and stuff like that. I will get into those. It's a whole different show, so we'll do that later. Um, Also, big 4 or 5 gallon jugs of these is like $5, $6 for, and you can also reuse these. I have quite a few of those. Those are great to have. Um, so yeah, as much water as you can store, I would do it. I would do it. Um, so yeah, you just want to get anything you can get your hands on that's cheap enough. Um, it you want bug in and bug out food preps. You want bug in because you may not even be leaving your house, depending on who you are and what you got going with um, your techniques of survival, or you got another piece of property or something like that. But you always want bug in food stuff like canned foods. You're not gonna take this in a damn backpack. You're not gonna take this and run for the hill or wherever you're going. You know, So you don't want to keep these at the house, and then when if you have to bail from your house or wherever you're at, you want to take stuff like this type of stuff or something, because hunting, fishing, and trapping is not guaranteed, or it might take a while to accumulate them animals, you know, and when shit hits the fan and you got everybody that's in the same boat as you, nobody's gonna have tags for hunting animals. They're not gonna give a shit about that. You know, they're gonna do as they please to feed their family. So keep that in mind. Um, you know, I know lots of people that go hunting, and sometimes they come back with nothing, and they're out there for like a week or two. So you just gotta consider all spectrums of reality. So basically, you just have to be prepared as much as you can in all different aspects. Um, so spices is an important thing, such as salts, iodized sea salt. It's not only good for your body, because your body needs iodine and salts, but you can also use this for preserving food. You know, preserving food, you could smoke food, you could dehydrate, freeze dry, you could keep it in vinegar, you can can foods like this jam right here. Canning foods is very good. Again, you probably can't take it with you when you're bugging out, but it's just another option of getting fresh. You want fresh, good, uh, quality foods. You might have to do it yourself, you know, because you're not going to get a can of peaches and it's going to be super healthy for you. So canning is a good option. You know, you get the most nutrients as possible rather than cans. Um, you got fishing is another option, but like I said earlier, that's no guarantees, no guarantees. And when shit hits the fan, they're not going to be stocking these lakes. Okay, they're not going to be stocking these lakes. Um, Saving your fish bones or any bones that you do accumulate from animals, save those, boil it, use it as a stock for your soups. There's lots of nutrition in there from the bone marrow, just the overall bone itself. You're gonna get nutrition from there, and it's gonna add some good quality calories and nutrition to your diet. Pine needles. Pine needles are packed with vitamin C. You can take a handful of them, boil it, and drink it as a tea. Or you can boil it and add other fruits and vegetables or pasta even. I mean, and just have it in there, and you're gonna get the nutrient content from there. So keep that in mind. Another indigenous way of making food that lasts a long time is the old Native American pemmican. Pemmican they used in the real old days. Not it came from the Native Americans, but you had other pioneers and stuff that used this method as well. It's just basically lean meat that's they dried out and then you pulverize it to dust, and you can throw in dried berries as well. You gotta make sure it's completely dry, and then you put tallow, which is the hard fat from like cows and stuff. You melt that down, and then you put that powder uh, meat and the berries, and it forms and turns hard. This stuff lasts a lifetime. It'll last extremely long time. It's a real old indigenous way of preserving wood or food for the winter. It's extremely good for you and calorie packed. So, since it's dry, it's it's not going to spoil. The meat's not going to spoil. The fat is not going to spoil. It'll last a long time, and you know it'll do you right. And what I forgot to mention with the freeze dry food, you could buy a freeze dryer. They're quite pricey. Average price is between 2,500 and 3,500 for the medium size. It's about the size of a dishwasher. Um, I think the only home consumer brand that you can buy is Harvest Right. It comes with everything you need in it. So that's the ideal thing to do. I mean, in the long run, if you want to do have tons of freeze dried stuff, over time it'll be a lot cheaper than buying these. So, yep. Anything else like food storage? Definitely Mylar bags with some oxygen absorbers. Those are always good to have on hand, especially if you want to ration them out in smaller serving size containers, like nuts or something like that. You want to get some Mylar bags with them oxygen absorbers. Another thing to consider is gardening, garden seeds. Absolutely don't want to get GMO seeds because you won't get hardly any fruit out of it, vegetables. It's like I won't buy those. I mean, you could spend almost just as much money on non-GMO seeds, heirloom seeds, non-hybrids. You just buy them from independent farmers. You can get it from eBay or Amazon. Just put in heirloom non-GMO seeds. Buy them in bulk. A lot of them will come in little Mylar bags. If not, put them in your own Mylar bags. I have a good healthy dose of heirloom seeds. You buy your tomatoes, your watermelon. I got tons of thousands of spinach and kale. My goal is to have 1,000,000 seeds, but some of that could be for bartering. You can absolutely barter your extra foods, your extra rice, extra seeds, water, because most people ain't prepping right now. So it is key to have extra on hand to use for bartering. Don't tell everybody what you have, because it can cause issues. And you got to be prepared for the issues also. Because somebody gets wind of what you got to be able to protect your preps, your family, yourself, because it will get buck wild. So we got into the variances of food types. the different methods of making food last, preserving foods. You know, there's a whole lot more than what I'm saying. I mean, you get coffee. That's a good bartering item too. Get tea. You know, tea got some nutritional properties in it. You just got to do basically what you and your family would eat. You know, you're not going to get a damn jar or can of sauerkraut if you don't like that shit. I can't stand that. You know, you ain't going to ever see me with something like that on hand. Because I'm not going to eat it. But just use your imagination of what you eat. Like I said, seasonings and salts and stuff like that is really important because it'll be the difference of something tasting like crap or something tasting pretty good. So that's basically what I got for that. You know, I'll get into hunting and hands-on and show you in videos of how to can and how to smoke foods properly, and we'll get into bugs getting in your food and how to deal with that. Yeah, so we're gonna get in a lot of detail. I just wanted to go over some stuff too, because I mean time's running out. Time, just get the food as you can, because time is running out. I mean, this world is getting crazier by the day. As you know, and I'd like to give a shout out to Lord Jacob Rothschild. He passed away today. I want to give you a shout out. Rest in piss. You're a sack of shit. And you're definitely in a better place. And it sure in the heck did some people some justice today. Died at 87 years old. I don't feel sorry for you. So anyways, that's all I got for you today. There's probably other foods I missed, like oats and wheat and stuff like that, but I'll do another show on it later down the road. I got some other shows I want to get out the way to show you guys. I just want to get food, get water while you can, because it's going to be a whole lot difficult to accumulate some of this stuff here shortly. Don't spread your word about what you have to too many of your friends or family. You got to think, because when their family's hungry, when shit hits the fan, they're going to remember that you said that. They're going to remember you saying, oh, you got this, you got that. They're going to be plotting of getting your ration. You know, and if you go and warn people and tell them, hey, man, shit's coming. You got to prepare. You got to save food. You got to save water. They're just like, yeah, well, nah, because, you know, if anything happens, I'll come to your house. How much you want to bet? I don't care how good of a friend you are. You ain't coming over here. If you ain't prepping for yourself, and I know you got money and you're not taking care of yourself, you're spending it throwing your money around, whatever, and then when the time comes, you're going to come to my house and eat my family's food. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. Be careful who you tell. I won't tell anybody. You know, I would only share that the people that were that prepped themselves, they're taking this seriously. You know, I'm not going to slap food out of my family's mouth because some lazy ass didn't want to, or they didn't believe it or something like that, you know, and just, no, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Protect your food. Be careful who you trust because people will try to come after you for your food. So, anyways, that's all I got for you for tonight. I guess I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good night.